Excited to have you here at Zeni's second session of Zeni's first demo days. We're going to give it just another minute as we're waiting for folks to kind of just usher in. So we'll just pause for another minute while we wait for more folks to roll in. All right, looks like we're getting a crew. Yes, Will, your question, will these recordings be distributed? Absolutely. Yeah, let's also get a poll from everyone. Where's everybody from? Would love to hear from you all where you're located. I'm actually based out of Utah, Lehigh, Utah. So that's where we are located. Looks like we got Jill in California. Awesome. Melissa from NYC. Robert in Utah as well. Great. Howdy from Texas, Denver. Love it. We got a lot of folks all over the globe. That's fantastic, or the United States. Well, let's go ahead and let's dive in. So, welcome to day 2 of Zeni's demo days. We're super excited to be able to dive in with each of you all, specifically around the Zeni dashboard. We want to be able to give you all the tools and everything that you need to take full advantage of what is there to you to help save you time and money and really leverage what's available with the Zeni dashboard. So let's go ahead and let's dive in. So first, I have an icebreaker for everyone. The question is, what is your spirit animal and why? I would love for you all just to be able to throw an answer in the chat. So for me specifically, while we're waiting for some folks, I've been thinking about this for a few days, and I honestly believe I would probably be an eagle because I don't know, I would just love to feel what it would be like to fly. And as well as be able to read like a newspaper from a mile away. I just like can't comprehend how that's even possible. So anyway, we've got Jill Marte said should be a dragonfly. We've got koala bear, dolphin, an owl, a sloth. Okay, nice. Yes, because they adopted me. I love that, Jill. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, good stuff. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the meat of this. So I did want to just show you the demo team. As I indicated, my name is Ben Ashworth, and I'm the vice president here at Zeni for marketing. And so I'm super stoked to be able to host this session for you. And then I'll turn it over to Lauren to introduce herself.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Lauren Hammond. I'm really excited to be talking with you guys today. But I am one of the account executives over here at Zeni.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lauren. So today, here's our agenda. So obviously, we're going to be diving into the Zeni dashboard. We're going to talk about the power of Zeni's dashboard and some of the different components that we want to make sure that each of you are taking advantage of. We'll also kind of show a comparison on how we compare to others out there in the market. We'll go into a deep dive on some different individual features. We'll also do some highlights. And then we'll also go into, at that point, I'll turn the time over to Lauren, where she will do a deep dive demo and show off some of the new features as well that we have that are coming out. So I'm really excited to dive into this with you all. So to kind of just get started, I think for those of you who are currently Zeni customers are probably familiar with this, but for those that are not, the issue that we have faced historically in the past when it comes to financial operations, I feel like for any founder or financial professional, is that it's just so manual, it's highly fragmented, and it's really slow between all of the different mediums of things that you need to be doing between bookkeeping, bill pay, invoicing, employee reimbursement, your banking side of things for your business, taxes, and so on and so forth. It's so fragmented. There's so many different people that you potentially have to work with. They all have to be able to communicate one with another. And then on top of that, you have all of these different tools that you have to also be able to integrate with, and those have to be able to communicate as well with the individuals. So as you're kind of taking a look at this to me just looks like an absolute rat's nest. And I think, at the end of the day, for any founder or tax professional, the most important asset that you have is your time. You are time starved, and we want to give you more time to focus on growing your business versus being caught up in the minutia of the day in and day out bookkeeping and accounting. So that's where we created Zeni, which is an AI-powered platform which essentially consolidates all of these different functions of financial operations, giving you a dedicated finance team and having this one and all AI-powered platform to allow for you to be able to run 10 times faster, as well as getting real-time insights into your business so you don't have to wait until month-end close. to be able to see where you're currently standing and what your financial foundation looks like, and making sure that that's in a really healthy state. So for today's demo, here are some of the things that we want to be able to cover. So we want to do a deep dive into the burn rate calculator. This is something that's so crucial for any founder. It really is the lifeblood of your business, to make sure that you're making the right decisions that's needed for future forecasting. We'll talk about some of the top insights that's available to you from our AI technology. We'll dive into some of the vendor search, as well as digging into some of the new vendor features that we have readily available. And then we're going to introduce a brand new month-end close automation view that you can start to take a look at. And we can start to answer more questions on that end. But super excited for where our AI technology is going, and as we start to introduce new AI agents in and of themselves. So before diving into the demo, I did want to highlight a few things that we hear from our customers about Zeni's dashboard. Some of the major highlights. Number one, really easy to use. They also love the same day ACH, whether that be through bill pay or if they're doing that to be able to reimburse an employee. They feel like it's really intuitive. It's capturing everything that they need for their business. It's very quick, and there's no added costs on some of these additional features. I did want to share this one quote that we have from Audience, who's one of our customers, that says, "I haven't had to categorize a transaction or do a reconciliation in months, and it feels so good." And we want to make sure everybody that's on this call, that they feel the exact same way, that you're taking advantage of all of Zeni's dashboard capabilities. And that's why we have Lauren here on the call to be able to dive in deep with you. So let's go ahead and let's dive into the demo. Lauren.
Woohoo! Hey everyone, excited to walk through this. If you don't feel like Will Ferrell in this picture by the end, then I think I've done something wrong. So hopefully this is the excitement everyone gets. So I'm going to share screen with you guys, and we are going to dive on into the Zeni dashboard. So the first thing that Ben had mentioned that we really want to highlight today is the burn rate calculator. So I'm sure most of you guys are pretty familiar with the dashboard that are customers here. But one of the things I love to say when I talk to founders at the beginning stages of moving over to Zeni is that QuickBooks was designed for accountants, whereas Zeni was designed for founders. So we want to take a step beyond just the basic automation, reconciliation, everything that's happening in QuickBooks, and take you on a journey so you can actually understand what's happening in your business. Now, we work with a vast range of companies. That being said, no matter who I talk to, they will all say the same thing, and that is cash is king. So we've created this burn rate calculator on the dashboard for you. So we're going to show you your burn, your runway, and your cash zero date. Now, one of the things that I love about this burn rate calculator is we actually want it to be personalized to what's most important in your business. So for example, some of the companies that I work with are specifically focused on being in the positive in 2025. So all they care about is EBITDA. So we can actually change this calculator to look at EBITDA, let's say over the last 2 months. I'm going to save this. You can watch how this automatically changes burn, runway, and cash zero date. So again, trying to give you the information that's going to be most applicable to your business, but in a really easy to digest format. Everything's funneling through what the tech and AI and your controller team are doing on the back end so that this is all updated daily for you. So that's essentially the burn rate calculator here. Before we jump into the insights, any questions, Ben, that you're seeing on this end?
Yeah, so one of the questions that we have from Madison, it says, can I customize my experience on the dashboard to only show reports or cards that are most relevant to my business?
That's a really good question. So part of our just onboarding process in general is a personalized onboarding process. So when we get things set up on the QuickBooks account, we'll be doing the full chart of accounts review with you, making sure that the information is funneling in a way that's going to be, the best for your business. That being said, the dashboard itself is standardized. So all of the reports that you'll be seeing on here will be the same. But if there is some more specific reporting or KPI tracking that you're needing, this is really when we utilize our CFO services at Zeni. So you'd be working with one of our CFOs to build out these different models, forecasting, KPI tracking. So that way, again, the information is the information that's most relevant to you, but then everything that you'd be seeing on this dashboard is just going to be standardized.
Fantastic. Madison, thank you so much for asking that question. Hopefully it was able to answer it. She said, awesome, thanks. Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and continue, Lauren.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's jump into the insights. So, one of the main themes that I guess I want to cover today when we jump through everything in the dashboard is time. And I know Ben has already mentioned that, but the goal of all of the dashboard and the team that you're working with at Zeni is to put time back in your pocket, but to actually give you the high level sort of strategic view that you need to make good decisions. So, these insights are really going to be nice. You can actually scroll down to the bottom of your dashboard and we can see top insights across the company. So we can see revenue insights that the AI is pulling, cost analysis. We can see OPEX, which typically OPEX, when I'm talking to my customers, and this tends to be one of the most important KPIs and metrics that we're looking at. So one of the nice things is we're going to see that high level view that the AI is pulling on the insights. We can actually click into this though and go jump into that operating expenses tab. And now we can see an even further view of what the AI is pulling. So for example, we're going to look at the last completed month. The AI is going to tell us that we actually had an increase of 5% in our operating expenses. Now, that's obviously not a great thing, right? We obviously don't want an increase there. But what is more important is understanding what caused this. So rather than you having to, waste your time to go looking through each transaction to figure that out, the AI will pull the data so that we can actually see, again, high level, what caused that. So now your time is spent less on the manual work and more in actually strategizing. Do we need to make a quick pivot? Is this sustainable? And then again, making those sort of decisions moving forward. So that's essentially what the insights look like on the dashboard. Any questions specifically about these insights reporting that you can see?
Great. So it looks like we have a few questions that are in here. Kit Daly, it looks like it goes back to the previous question, indicating
Mhm.
that this looks a bit cluttered. Can I customize this? And why does this have so many colors? Kit, I think this is a great question. We actually have Shashir, who is our senior director of product, that's sitting in the background, and he'll reach out to you directly, or at least in this chat, to be able to help answer that question. So you can have that as well. And I think that leans in as well to Eleanor's question that she has, where it's, can we move the cards around? Again, we will be sure to have Shashir be able to answer that question for you. It looks like we have one here from Melissa that says, how can I get an updated view of my operating expenses? Lauren, would you like to go ahead and answer that for us?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to the operating expenses, the really nice thing is, right, with the team that you're working with, it's going to be that dual approach of both the controller team and then as well as the tech and AI. So if we just want to jump back into the OPEX, we can actually see transactions as they're happening in real time. So rather than traditionally how it's always been done is the books don't get started until the end of the month, those transactions are actually updated daily. So that way you can actually understand how we're pacing. And then these reports can all be downloaded as well. So you could download a full OPEX report here.
Fantastic. So, Melissa, I hope that answers your question. Robert, it looks like Robert has a question as well. For
Yeah.
seasonal businesses, is there a way to compare against the previous year or only the previous month?
Yeah, that's a super good question. So there's two different things that we'll look at with this. One, we can look at what the dashboard's going to offer, and then two, we can look at what the CFOs could offer. So when we're looking at a full breakdown, we can actually upload any forecasts that we've built. I know traditionally when we're talking about seasonality with businesses, right, we want to make sure that we're preparing for the changes. So we want you to be able to see those forecasts as they're happening in the changes. So for example, in the dashboard, we can actually see going back. We can go back years. We can see the change in the OPEX versus years versus quarters versus months. And then again, you can see those transactions as they're happening. But if there's any more like seasonality KPI tracking that's really specific to your industry, then that's when you can work with a CFO of ours and we can build out specific models and forecasts based on that seasonality.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Robert, did that answer your question, Robert? I hope so. Perfect. It looks like we have another question from Eleanor, which says, are the changes we make to selections within the cards
Mhm.
kept in that change state at log off, or do they go back to default?
That's a really good question. So just so I'm understanding it correctly, if we're making changes into how some of these things are being categorized on the dashboard, is that correct?
So yes, that is correct.
Okay, perfect. So the nice thing about Zeni is because it's a dual API, anything that's happening in the Zeni dashboard is also happening back in QuickBooks. So if you make those updated changes, they will be reflected back in QuickBooks. And then QuickBooks has a really good sort of tracking trail of changes so that we can actually see those have been made, and that will be updated on the back end in QuickBooks.
Fantastic. And then it looks like we have another question here from Will, who is asking, can you clarify what data or aggregations are only in Zeni and not in QBO? For example, analysis and reports that QBO doesn't support natively. What about any calculated fields or data?
That's a super good question. So this will be definitely one that I'll want Shashir to reach out to you and give a more specific sort of view, but as a high level sort of look into the differences of what you're getting on the Zeni dashboard versus QuickBooks. So QuickBooks itself gives some pretty basic reporting, so you can get some of this information. Really, there's two things that we're going to be looking at that are different. One, the view itself. So we've presented these reports in a way that's just a little bit easier to digest. Typically, when you're in QuickBooks, you're actually seeing full line items, all of the classes, all of those journal entries, which can be a lot of information to really understand, high level what's happening in the business, as well as the type of information that you're getting in this dashboard. For example, the burn rate. I guess the way I look at it is the information that we have coming in is the information that we have coming out. So for you to actually get a really good view of burn up to date, the QuickBooks wouldn't be doing all those automatic categorizations on its own. So Zeni's AI is going to come in, make those changes, make sure everything is flowing through correctly. So the reports that you're actually getting on the Zeni dashboard are updated daily for you.
Fantastic. Will, that was a great question. And we will have Shashir as well follow up with any additional information on that end as well. Well, let's go ahead and let's continue. I believe that's all the questions so far.
Awesome. And I love these questions. So keep them coming. But yeah, so as we transition into the next thing, I want to really talk through the vendors. So this is one of our newer tabs that I'm sure most of you guys have seen on the dashboard. We do have this vendor tab in spend management. But one of the really nice things is you can actually, at the top of your dashboard, just search up a vendor. So for example, if I wanted to take a look at Front and the expenses we've sent to them, I can just look it up really quick, click in there. And now I'm actually back in the vendors tab and seeing a full report. I can see the spend that I've had with this vendor over the last 30 days, the last 90 days, year to date. And then I can actually see a graph that's representing that expenditure. Again, going back to sort of the main goal of all of this, giving you a quick, easy access, high level to what spend looks like. So we can actually see very quickly, we actually went up a ton in January as far as the expenditure. Now, this is a good thing if this was something we planned for, but if this was something that maybe wasn't tracking on the budget that we had set aside or what the plans for the company were, then we can quickly come in, see that this has happened, and then make a pivot. And then again, the AI is going to give us further insights. So we can actually look, and on Front, we can see that we had a decrease of 33% in February as opposed to January, which again, just giving you that insight high level, showing us how much we're spending. So that way, again, you can spend your time making changes or creating a system where this is repeatable. And then going back into the vendor tab itself, you can go in and see a full summary again of all of those vendors. So we can come in and see, again, each of them. We can click into a different one, see the spend, and you'll be able to see everything in here as well. So do we have any questions as far as the vendors tab goes?
Perfect. Let's see here. Terrence, looks like Terrence has a question. Says, are there AI insights on all the reports on the dashboard, not just the vendor tab? If so, where can I find them?
Yeah, that is a really good question. So you will get the AI insights on all of your tabs. So for example, just going back to the dashboard, we can click into net income. This is where you're going to be seeing them. So you're going to click into the tab and you're going to see the AI insights right below where you get these graphs. So this is really where those are going to all be housed. And again, you can go into any of these tabs. We could go into our cash position, and this is where those AI insights are going to be as well.
This is fantastic. This is something that I absolutely love about this product. Again, when it comes to saving time and being able to run those analyses, it could take hours to be able to get those insights and those details. And so I just absolutely love that you're getting that in real time on your dashboard with those AI insights. So thank you very much. Doesn't look like we have any additional questions on
Okay.
that end. So let's go ahead and move on to the next piece.
Perfect. Well, this next piece is one that I'm actually really excited to show you guys. This is something new that we are currently rolling out. So you guys will be some of the first people to see this. But this is essentially our new AI agents month-end automation that we've got going. So I'm going to jump in and just show you a quick high-level sort of view as to what this will look like. But you guys will be able to see on the dashboard, we'll have this AI bookkeeping overview. This is where we're going to click into. Now, this is what your controller team is going to be using on the back end. So this is really going to help aid them in this month-end close, help make things more streamlined and happen quicker. So when you click into here, you're actually going to be able to see the audit score, see how we're pacing as far as that month-end close, as well as you'll be able to see all the money that the Zeni AI has been able to save as far as the transactions amount and the hours that have been saved. So I'm going to click into review here, and it's going to take me to my transactions. Now, automatically, I'll be able to see what transactions are under review. So I can come in and I can add categories in here. You'll see that the AI will make a recommendation automatically. So the team's going to come in and click this recommendation. If it's correct, you'll see how that will automatically update the Google Ads over here as well. We can also come in and we can add the classes. So I can add R&D class into this Microsoft. And then I can actually click into all of these at the same time and then have it save with those AI recommendations as well. Now we can go into the auto categorized as well to see what the AI has already automatically categorized and make changes in there as well. So, for example, speaking of front, we love them. We can come in here and say, I actually don't think that this was front. I want to make a change and make this Atlassian, for example. I'm going to update that and then save it. And now all of my transactions have been updated. Now, after the transactions, we're going to go into the journal entries. So now we can see what journal entries need to be created and what ones need to be resolved. So for example, I'm going to come in and review this journal entry and see that we don't have a posting date. So I'm going to add a posting date in there for the first of every month. And now this journal entry has been created. Now for this one, we can see that we actually didn't have a category. So again, I'm just going to click on this and see that we have a software subscription as the recommendation from the AI. And I'm able to add that in. And then I'm going to retry this. High five, everything looks good on the journal entries. Now, after journal entries, we're going to go into any missing receipts. Now, I would say probably from a founder's perspective, this is something that you spend a lot of your time doing. And I know based on what our controllers say, missing receipts tends to be a huge headache for everyone. So we want to make it really simplistic to be able to update these. So I'm actually able to come in and I can update and add and drop in any of these receipts. Now the AI is going to auto match them to these expenses here. So now everything is updated, ta-da, everything is uploaded like magic. Now the flex analysis was one that I really wanted to highlight. Specifically, the Zeni dashboard itself is doing a really good job of giving you a high-level view. This is what most founders are needing to see. But specifically, when we look forward thinking into any sort of FP&A side, so coming back to, roles of CFOs, VPs of finances, different financial roles, a lot of the time is being spent looking at different flux analysis. So we want to make it really simplistic so that you and the team can come in and see any of these fluctuations and be able to review them. So we can come in and see in Amazon all of those expenses, see how the variance between months, and then we can come in and click these as reviewed. So we've gone through and made sure everything looks good. And then the last thing I wanted to highlight was the reconciliation. So again, month-end reconciliation, most of the time is spent just making sure that the bank accounts and what's happening in the QuickBooks and Use Any dashboard are all aligned. So we can come in and we can connect these bank accounts to make sure that everything is correct, all the numbers match up. And then I can click in here and review this, make sure everything looks good, see any comments that might be made on here, and then that will be all updated for me. So that, my friends, is essentially what that month-end close and the AI agents will look like on the back end. So this is slowly being rolled out. So this is really what's going to help aid your controller team on the back end to do that month-end close quicker and streamline things so that as the company itself grows and increases, it's not necessarily requiring more hours, more manual hours for anyone, so that you can actually scale the company very efficiently and Zeni can scale with you.
That's fantastic. I'm super excited about this. It honestly, it feels like this agent is a part of the team, and it's just going to make those month-end close so much easier for everyone. And I love that the AI, it's training itself. So as you're going in, you're training it, that it's automatically updating things for itself on the back end. So just really exciting to be able to see that as it will play a role moving forward in the future. So it looks like we have a few questions here. It looks like Jill Marteschi had indicated, I don't see the overview feature on my Zeni. So Jill, we will be slowly rolling this out. Please feel free to reach out to your controller, and they would be happy to help and support and see if you're in a good position of being able to roll this out on your end. And then we have a question from Terrence. It says, what are AI agents and how do they function on the dashboard? Clearly, my mind is focused on AI. So how would you answer that, Lauren?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the AI agents is what we've been working on the back end. It's essentially, we're going to have different agents for different roles in the business, but this specifically is a bookkeeping agent. So what it's going to be doing is going through, making those recommendations, making those automatic journal entries, categorizations, and really working to support your controller team. So it's essentially like a bot that we've created on the back end is this agent.
Fantastic. And then we have another question here from Will that says, is there a clever way to export a due diligence package for fundraising?
That's a super good question. So there's a couple of things, right, when you go in for fundraising that potential investors will be needing to see. I feel like we've brought up the CFOs a lot today because it tends to, and anytime we're looking forward thinking, right, FP&A, we really want humans to be in the loop. So one of the things that our CFOs can do is we can do full fundraising support for you. So any sort of due diligence that you might be needing that goes beyond what you're getting on the dashboard, for example, your P&Ls, those cash flow statements, essentially the investor dashboard as well itself. If there's more due diligence that we're needing beyond that, then you can be working with the CFO to help create pitch decks and then make sure, again, that everything that you might be needing to present is ready.
Perfect. Sounds great. And then Eleanor, I did see that you had a question there of asking whether or not the insights was still in beta state. And it looks like Shashir is already on it with answering your question. So we definitely want to get this bug fixed for you so that we can get you into a good spot. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pull back up the deck here really quick. Lauren, thank you so much for taking us through that demo. I hope you all are as excited as I am to be able to dive into your Zeni dashboard and start to take advantage of some of these different individual features. For those of you, there may be some of you that are here that are new and are actually not Zeni customers. We have a QR code that's sitting right here that you could be able to scan, and you can schedule a demo, a personalized demo with one of our account executives, such as Lauren, that would love to be able to walk your business through how Zeni could be able to help and support you. And if you are already an existing customer and you're ready just to dive into your dashboard right now, we do have this link that's readily available that you can click on to be able to dive into your dashboard and to start to click around and see what features are currently available to you. As well as those that maybe aren't available yet. We would love for you to be able to reach out to us or to your controller, and we can work to get you fully integrated on that side. So with that being said, we do have one more demo day to go, which is going to be happening tomorrow, which is going to be our last presentation for this quarter's demo days before we do the next one next quarter. So we're going to be diving in deep into Zeni's new business credit card. So this is going to be tomorrow, March 20th at 11 a.m. PST. We hope to see everybody there. We really saved the best for last. This is the world's first AI-powered business credit card that will be so exciting to be able to see how it can better streamline your financials, making your bookkeeping and accounting experience just that much more seamless. And so we're super excited to be able to see everybody there. And did I mention that you can also get up to 1.75% cash back, which is absolutely incredible in the market currently today. So we really appreciate everyone for joining. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. And we wish you the best moving forward in the future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.